Good evening, wherever you're watching from. Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning, wherever you're watching from. This is Mirror African Diaspora, live on Facebook. In today's discussion, we are going to talk about the issue happening currently in Newi, Joe Igbokwe's house burnt, and there are discussions surrounding this incident. These are the issues we would like to discuss this evening. So you are highly welcome, viewers. We would like to look at this discussion, accusation. We would like to talk about, ask the question, who is actually behind this action? Is it the people from the government, federal government, or the unknown government? Also, we are going to ask the question, who is actually this unknown government? And then we would like to look into the issue of, how the these actions, this incident is affecting the life of people in the eastern south of Nigeria. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, you are welcome to this edition. You are welcome to the program Think Tank, live on Facebook. You are watching Mirror African Diaspora, and I am Robinson Afamefuna Ambrose. Welcome. Please, viewers, share our videos and then go to our website, mirrorafricandiaspora.com. Visit our YouTube. Also, we are also operating on Instagram and Twitter. So in today's discussion, we're also going to have two people as usual. We are expecting to have Maze Smile Anuzie. And then we're also going to have Maze Ndubisi George. If you permit me, let me just look into the system and then get back to you. So I'm going to, everybody, I think most of us must have seen this video making wave on Facebook, posted by IPOB personnel. And the guy is bringing out questions concerning this incident. He's asking the question about who is actually behind the action at Newi. The same question we're asking here, is it, he's not asking the question, he's making the claim that Joe Igbokwe actually received some amount of money from the federal government, from Nigerian government, sorry, and then staged this issue of his house being burnt by the IPOB. He wants, not only that he wants to use this opportunity, or he wants to use this as a scheme to tarnish the image of the IPOB, but also that this is another way of him staging an event, a preview, a situation that will then lead to the death of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. This is what the IPOB personnel, what he's claiming, or what he claims, that Joe Igbokwe is behind this action. Joe Igbokwe received around about 380,000 US dollar, and also 500,000 US dollar for his house. And then afterwards, he then now allowed his house to be burnt, so that it will look as though the IPOB or the unknown government have acted on the interest of the IPOB. So what this is a serious accusation. This is a serious claim. And he also said that it's not only that Joe Igbokwe is involved. He also mentioned another guy, Andy Uba. Andy Uba is another key player in this heinous act which they have staged in order to tarnish the image of the IPOB. And we would like to know if this is true or false. We would like to analyze the circumstance. We would like to look into the video the guy has brought online. We would like to talk about it and yes, look to what is logical, what makes sense, what is plausible and what is not plausible. First of all, let me just show you this video. Minute, please.
On our hand concerning that particular shameful attack today. Firstly, I want to remind every Biafrans, wherever you are, the time we are right now, we are on injury time because we already did there. You know, when things are getting better or when things are being programmed to be positive, we always have this element of evil around that want to destroy what God have already pronounced victory. But little did they know that the same God who are championing this cause will always plant somebody in their midst, wherever they are planning this show of shame, somebody in their midst, Holy Spirit will enter that person to be an informant in their midst, to give out exactly the plan and what is about to happen. I want every Biafran to pay attention, and as well, I want every body in that contraction called Nigeria. I want every Oduduwa people to pay attention to this particular information today. And I hope the world are watching as well, because our program do go far. Many world, they are watching, they are monitoring the situation in that Nigeria. And gradually, they are beginning to find out the real truth and those behind the evil that is being carried out in Nigeria. The attack today, because I'm occupied today, I'm not supposed to be here, but I quickly rushed down to make sure that we get the real face of this particular attack that was carried out today in a week. Now, the attack was planned on Tuesday last week, which is last month. The attack was planned on Tuesday, the last Tuesday of the last month of September. That Tuesday was on the 27th of September, when this attack that was carried out in Inewi today was planned at Oriental Hotel, Lekki Road, Lagos State. That was where the attack was planned. And the people that was present in this plan was...
All right, I can't get hold of this, unfortunately. So, well, we, like I've said, we are expecting 2 people to join us in this discussion. Unfortunately, I have to continue right now because none of them has shown up. So the question we have to ask in this issue is, this accusation, this allegation that is brought up by this guy, how credible it is? That's one question. And if it is credible, what is going to happen? I mean, the Biafrans has been involved in this discussion. I mean, they have been involved in this circumstance of people like Joe Igbokwe and Hope Uzodimma being a kind of a thorn of the flesh doing those things that the Biafrans don't actually want to see or want to hear. Those acts that is essentially called sabotage. And the question is, how are they going to manage this issue? Because it's getting out of hand. If Joe Igbokwe essentially would take money from people from the government and then try to frame IPOB organization as being responsible for the burning his house, then this is it's a serious issue and has to be addressed. But the problem is that the country called Nigeria seems not to be functioning. The judiciary background is not something that you can write home about. On that note, anybody can do anything and still get away with it. And that is the problem, because if it is in the same world, such behavior must be followed and the perpetrators must be brought to justice. But now it is not only the issue it's not just about the fact that the house was burnt, but also it is this action is related to an intention of killing Nnamdi Kanu. And this is not a small issue. I mean, everybody knows that Nnamdi Kanu has been under the detention, illegal detention by the Nigerian government for almost getting to 3 months now. And there has not been any court issue concerning that detention. And that the Biafrans have been agitating and demonstrating in many countries, asking for the immediate release of Nnamdi Kanu, and that has not happened. It has to be said, however, that Nnamdi Kanu still remains the most important person in Biafra land currently. And then the question is, I wanted to ask today is, unfortunately, these guys are not here, so I'll have to be running this program alone today. Is if anything happens to Nnamdi Kanu, what then? What's going to happen? In this case, this question, I unfortunately I cannot answer this question because it's a big one. For God's sake, we don't pray that anything happens to Nnamdi Kanu, but based on what the IPOB personnel just said, the accusation he raised is that Joe Igbokwe was asked, what can the Nigerian government do in order to make sure that Nnamdi Kanu is eliminated? And he said that there should, then Mr. Igbokwe answered or said that there should be consistent actions and disruption of government things. There should be a kind of terrorist acts that will lead to the DSS office being burnt, so that that place where Nnamdi Kanu is locked can also be burnt, and then they will say, okay, yeah, it has happened in other places. So it's the same people that did it, the same people that perpetrated this act, that burned the DSS office elsewhere, that also burned that place where Nnamdi Kanu is locked up. So this is a plan engineered by Joe Igbokwe, who happens to be an engineer. And then the idea behind it, like I've said, is to use that opportunity to kill Nnamdi Kanu. Now, this is, like I've said, it's a very serious allegation, a very serious issue. The question is, how credible is this allegation? How credible? We do know that okay, this is Mazi Odikemai. Okay, you are welcome. But okay, I just admitted you, so you should know by now. Awesome. Hello, can you hear me? I think he has problem logging in. Hello? Can you hear me? I don't know. Okay. I don't know. I think he has problem logging in, but I will continue, however. So the question, like I've said, is the allegation, like I've said, is a very gravy one. And if it happens to be true, what's going to happen to Joe Igbokwe? That's another question that has to be answered, because this issue has been going on for many years. Joe Igbokwe has been the person that always come out to criticize the IPOB members and make claims or levy accusation on them, even when Nnamdi Kanu was extradited by the Kenyan government to the Nigerian government. There was a picture that was shown that we saw everywhere on the social media, where Joe Igbokwe knelt down and was thanking God for what happened. That picture was not good at all. And I don't think any IPOB member was happy about it. And not even any Biafran was happy about it, because you don't jubilate the, okay, this person is having problem logging in. I admit you. So, yes, can you hear me, Mazi Odikema? Hello, you are highly welcome, Mazi Odikema. Can you hear me? Unmute yourself, please. Unmute. Can you hear me? Hello? You have to unmute yourself, please. Can you hear me? I give you sign to unmute yourself. So, okay. Can you hear me? Hello? You have to unmute yourself, please. You are muted. Okay, you are he's connecting. Now audio is okay. Now you can hear me, right?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. You are highly welcome to the program Think Tank, where we discuss politics concerning African and yes, Nigeria as well. So there was supposed to be two other personnel, Mazi Amuzie and Mazendo. So you were supposed to be three of you today in this very discussion, because I wanted to treat the issue of Joe Igbokwe's the accusation levied against Joe Igbokwe by the IPOB personnel. I don't know if you have watched that video in which the IPOB man accused Joe Igbokwe of having accepted a considerable amount of money from the Nigerian government to tarnish the image or to stage that the fire that burnt his house was perpetrated by the IPOB, essentially specifically by unknown gunmen. Meanwhile, he has himself staged that. What do you think?
Yeah, thank you very much for having me on the program. My name is Maz Odinkema Kendelem Mwachineke. On the question that you asked concerning Joe Igbokwe, which you rightly say that It might be that he collected money from the Nigerian government, of course,
I
because anybody who...
I didn't say that he collected money. I said that
you say he might.
IPOB personnel narrated that he got information from a woman who is close to Joe Igbokwe, and that this woman made him to understand that Joe Igbokwe collected 380,000 US dollar. He had this agreement with the Nigerian government because they asked him, they had a meeting at Oriental Hotel along Lekki, Lagos at 7:45 p.m. If I'm correct, but something 7:45. If that was PM or AM, I'm not very sure right now. But that was what this IPOB man said. And Garuba Shehu was present in this meeting. The Minister of Justice was present. And Uba was present in this meeting. And then Hope Uzodinma sent his representative. So essentially, 4 people were present in that meeting. And the discussion was, what can they do to make sure that Nnamdi Kanu died? How it's a kind of assassination. They are planned to assassinate Nnamdi Kanu. And they came up with the idea that there should be consistent attacks in the DSS amenities. The prison where that caught fire is one of the places that caught fire is the DSS amenity in the south, in the east. Another place is Joe Igbokwe's house. So they want to stage it. They want to make the whole scenario look as though it is perpetrated by IPOB or by unknown gunmen. Unknown gunmen so far has been ascribed to IPOB. Now the question is, how credible is this information from the IPOB personnel?
Well, let me first of all correct one impression before I move on to the question that you asked about Joe Igbokwe.
Yes.
Unknown government has not subscribed to IPOB. Nobody knows who is unknown government. Unknown government is everywhere. They are operating all across Nigeria. And these unknown government are part of the people that have been one way or the other suffer one thing or the other from Nigerian government, which on their own, they decided to form that unknown government. So let us not link unknown government with IPOB. What IPOB have is an Eastern Security Network. Eastern Security Network is just like what you have in the West, which is Amotekun. Also, if you go to the North, you have a Hijba police. These are the community police that is supposed to be guiding the community. Then when you talk about ESN, their job is to make sure that our farmland are protected. I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes, sure.
Okay. So ESN is an Eastern Security Network. So let's put that one aside. And the issue about Joe Igbokwe, like I say, whether you say it or they say it, the truth is this, that Joe Igbokwe has been working for Nigerian government. Anybody who sees what is going on in Nigeria and does not see the fact that there should be a need that things need to be done so that people can be able to move freely, do all manner of things that can do within the law. But when you see people like Joe Igbokwe, now, when you talk about his house, yes, his house was burned down. The question is who burned the house down? How do we know who burned the house down? If we go further to look at what is happening in Nasarawa State, about over 50,000 houses have burned down in Nasarawa State. Nasarawa State, this is within the Middle Belt. Now, when you go also further to Benue State, you see a lot of houses which have been burned down, 20 houses, 50 houses. This is not in the old Eastern region or Biafra land. If you now move further, go to Kogi State, you see 19 houses, 20 houses, 30 houses burned down. You understand what I'm saying now? If you also move further, no, hold on. We're getting to the who burned the house of Joe Igbokwe.
All right.
If you go to Delta State, you also see such cases, houses being burned down all over across the country. And who are these people burning houses? It's either Fulani herdsmen or the military. Because if we dive into this news that is on public domain, you will see that the soldiers, that they are the one burning people's houses openly. Now, when it comes to the case of Old Eastern Region, which today is we're fighting for Biafra restoration, they cannot come out openly to say that the military are burning houses. They have to make it look away that IPOB or Eastern Security Network must be connected so that they can have a justification in order to kill innocent people. So it is a setup. And one of the posts that Joe Igbokwe wrote on his Facebook, he said that he has sacrificed his house. So if Nigeria is a country where everything is being insured, by now, the house insurance will be investigating to know exactly what transpired. How did your house burn down? What and what? So it's a well planned by the DSS and the Nigerian government in order to label it against the indigenous people of Biafra, so that they can have a justification to kill innocent people. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Let me ask you this. Now you are in your narration, you try to make it, you are making the point that Joe Igbokwe is essentially trying to frame the IPOB network.
Yes.
And, again, IPOB does not own any action by unknown government, because IPOB has unknown government are separate group. This has nothing to do with IPOB. These are people that were afflicted by the Nigerian government, people that that their relative, one way or the other, has been killed by the Nigerian government, and now they organized themselves and started killing, or call themselves unknown government. Is that correct?
Of course. Even a few months ago, one of the emir in the, I think emir of Tarabas thereabout, when he came out telling the people in the northern Nigeria that they cannot accept you, the Fulanis, as our own. We believe in the same religion as a Muslim. But in a sense, in the other way around, you come, you abduct us, you kill us. If the people of government cannot be able to tackle this problem, that they themselves are going to form their own unknown government so that they can be able to tackle the issue. IPOB, or the indigenous people of Biafra, right from the memorial, have been a peaceful agitators within the confines of the law to make sure that they get what they want, or to get what we want. So we have never killed anybody, we have never raped anybody. So IPOB have been a peaceful movement all around. That is why the Nigerian government tagged the IPOB as a terrorist in 2017. But outside Nigeria, there is never any country of the world that have come out to say that IPOB is a terrorist organization. When you take, for example, in the so many protests that the indigenous people of Biafra are attending, they have been getting protection from police. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I'm just showing the picture, so don't be distracted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hear you. Yes, the picture is
all right
there for viewers, and not. I mean, it doesn't disturb me from hearing you. Okay, go on.
Okay. Like I said, IPOB outside Nigeria has never been recognized as terrorists. That is why in so many protests that you see the indigenous people of Biafra protesting, they are getting protection from the police. So if an organization like that or indigenous people of like that who came from the eastern region of Nigeria are terrorists, why would they be getting protection from the police, from the government? And you know, in the Western world, before you go into any protest, there's a due process. You have to go to police to get a clearance. So it should be a one way to get those people arrested who are planning for this protest. So my point is this, that IPOB has been a peaceful movement and will remain a peaceful movement. And that is why that they are asking, or we are asking, for referendum so that people can be able to decide where they want to go. So like I said again, IPOB has nothing to do with unknown gunmen. Thank you very much.
All right. So if we conclude, if we can say that our non-gunmen is not part of IPOB network, which Nnamdi Kanu has repeatedly said. Okay, so you are not the first person making this statement. But then unknown gunmen emanated from people that have been afflicted by the Nigerian government. We remember in this context, or we can say in this context, that the death or the massacre in Obibo can be part of the recruitment or the incidents that lead to the the upcoming of unknown gunmen or people like organizations like unknown gunmen. We also remember the attack on Nnamdi Kanu's residence and the humiliation of IPOB youth that were made to lie on the flood, inside the flood, and they were humiliated by the Nigerian police. All those things, these are just few things that happen. We know about the Mpo, the killing at Mpo and the Onitsha, all those places, all those incidents. We can, if we count them together, but these are just few of the incidents in which Biafrans were killed by the Nigerian government. The international community, I will ask you, do you know if they are involved? They are looking into this type of action, or is it just a demonstration that the Biafrans are doing? Because I do know that there is a lot of demonstration going on in a lot of places, especially in this Europe. But my question is, these people that have been killed, do you know if there is anything happening on the level of international community to question the death of these people, these young men that have been killed by the Nigerian government?
Thank you very much. First of all, you made a point about Obibo massacre during the NSAS protest. Let me clear one thing, first of all. Obibo is not just the only place that's been affected by the killings of the Nigerian government, because all across Nigeria, people died. But the Obibo is one of the major places where can you hear me?
I'm listening. I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay.
Go on.
Okay. Obibo is one of the major places that recorded over 3,000 deaths. But the Nigerian media recorded about 1,000 something. You know what I'm saying now? Yes. So the issue of unknown gunmen can just particularly say that it resulted from the Obibo that is in the Cross River. Because hold on. When you, like I was saying, in Nasarawa, over 50,000 houses of people of TV speaking language were burnt. You know what I'm saying now? And when I go down to the news, it says houses believed to belong to Tiv in Kana and Dama local government area of Nasarawa State were allegedly burned down by herdsmen, allegedly. But this is a real thing that happened. But here, because it's a Nigerian media, they will try to create a room in a sense that when this thing get to international court, just like the question that you asked, if the international community have done anything about it. With this allegedly, they can go away with it. But if the media are doing their job or properly, why would they be saying allegedly? People died. People died. So places like this, unknown government can be can resolve from there. And also, if you go to if you also go to Benue State, you see cases like that also, where houses were burnt. And one of these says, so sad, see photos of 20 houses burned down by soldiers in Benue State. So in all these places, they come out openly to do it. We've seen a video on the social media where where the military are clearing farms, people's farms. You know what I'm saying now? Now, in a case of the old Eastern Region, which is Biafra land today, even though it's not yet official, they can just come out openly to commit such crime. They have to try to connect it so that they can have a justification to kill the young people. Now, remember, during the NSAS, what was the reason why that they're asking for NSAS? They're asking for NSAS because the SARS, their job is to protect the life and property, but they are using it in order to abduct the innocent ones, and it went viral. But at the end, what happened? They could not be able to stop it. Okay. So the unknown can resolve from all over the places. Now, coming to your question, when you talk about the international community, with such a media that you have in Nigeria, it's going to be almost impossible for the international community to listen. But
why?
When
it's their obligation to look into affairs, international affairs, and the issue of killing of Biafrans in Obibo happens to be one of these international issues. So I don't see the reason why they should not look into it. What are we asked though is, my question is, the IPOB member, they have stronghold in Europe. Are they fighting? Is there anything they're doing to make sure that the people that killed these IPOB members in Obibo are brought to book?
Of course, our case is right now in the international community concerning not just the Obibo massacre, but all the judicial killing that is being happening in Nigeria, and not just in Nigeria, and not just in the Biafra land, but the entire country, so that they can be able to look. They can be able to look into this matter. But the problem now, like I said, is almost impossible because of the allegedly that they always tag a clear case that you see people die massacred. They tag it as a allegedly, and this allegedly is becoming so troublesome. Now, when you move down to the people that were supposed to be the mouth of the people, in the sense of the politicians, just like this Joe Igbokwe, he's a governor of a drainage and water resources in Lagos State. But there, he is there. Some time ago, the houses of Afrans were burned down in Lagos State. What did he do? Nothing. You understand what I'm saying now? When you come down to the east or to the so-called south, they don't do nothing. So what they cares about is only their pocket. That is all they cares about. That is why people have just taken upon themselves to go to the street to agitate. When you go to the street and agitate, you go to the street to agitate, they kill you, they massacre you. You understand what I'm saying now? So the only thing that I think that we can be able to do is to keep speaking about the atrocity that is being taking place in Nigeria, so that
Mazi, let's talk about. We come to the issue of the dissemination of message. We were going to talk about that exclusively. First of all, let's talk about the role of Joe Igbokwe. And I mean, he's not the only one that has been termed saboteur in this struggle or in the circle of the IPOB. There is also the person like Andy Uba. That's his name? Andy Uba. You know him, and essentially Hope Uzodinma, right? So the question is, I mean, this is a very serious situation. If you are fighting a war, okay, and you have sabotage among yourself, okay, how do you solve that issue? I mean, this is the same issue Ojukwu faced. Ifajuna, you know the story about Ifajuna as a saboteur. You know the story of someone that was given money to go and buy ammunition, and he essentially used it to buy a piece of land elsewhere. You know about the story. You know the story of the Biafran from the riverside that essentially gave room for the Nigerians to operate through their place. So the issue of sabotage is essentially the biggest problem Biafra now. How do they want to clear that case? How?
The issue of saboteurs, first of all, in the current situation that we find ourselves today, Nigeria has been independent for 61 years today, and Nigeria cannot be able to boast of any reasonable thing that the citizens are benefiting. Now you see a group of people who have come up to agitate for their freedom. Now, the people that were supposed to be their leader to support them in whatever they do, they don't do that.
Let's welcome Mazi Amuzie. I think he has made it finally. You are welcome, Mazi Amuzie.
Yes. It's a pleasure, my people. First of all, I think that I'll be able to, to just try and round up and participate in this great discussion. I've been on the way, and it's rainy, and was speeding up to see that I joined it.
You made it. That's important. We have Mazi Odinkema today. So please, let's let him finish what he's saying, then I can come to you. I wanted to welcome you. However, let's tell our viewers to please share this program, share the production today, share Miro African Diaspora, share our discussion, please, and subscribe to our YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube. Please just go to our YouTube, Miro African Diaspora TV. Mad. If you don't put Miro African Diaspora TV, mad, you will not get to us. First of all, Miro African Diaspora TV, then mad. Like our videos, and please subscribe to our YouTube so that you will be notified each time we post a new video. On this note, let me get back to Mazi Odikema. So please carry on.
Yeah, thank you very much. Before I was interrupted, I was talking about Joe Igbokwe and the other political leader that you made mention. Joe Igbokwe, first of all, has a big problem with his kinsmen. And having that problem, it become an abominable that they have to send him away from his hometown, Newi. So
when was that?
It's a long story. I don't want to go into that.
But can you verify this assertion, this statement? Can you prove it? I mean, is it provable?
Of course, it's provable. It's provable. But let me continue what I'm saying. Such a person will do everything humanly possible in order to get back to his people. Now, when you talk about Hope Uzodinma, Hope Uzodinma during the election period, he was the fourth to win the race. Of course, he could not be able to win, but because he is a member of APC, the ruling party, they have to rig somebody who is the winner of Imo State governor by removing somebody who is a judicial chief of justice in Nigeria so that they can be able to put him in seat.
Okay.
Now, also, when you talk about Andy Uba,
yes.
Andy Uba also he's a candidate of APC. So all these people that you're seeing here, they are all the same. They are APC party.
Okay.
And you know, hold on. And you know, APC government came into power. Everybody know the story of APC, how they are being handling the affairs of Nigeria. So why did they bring Hope Uzodinma in power? So that he can be able to fasten the seat of the Islamization. Joe Igbokwe, each and every one of them who has that APC has an agenda of Islamization. And whatever they think about is only for their pocket. They don't care about the common masses. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. The question is here. You have Biafrans of Igbo extraction working to the benefit of the Fulani oligarch. Why? Mazi Amuzie. You have Biafrans of Igbo extraction working to the benefit of the Fulani oligarch. I mean, this is very troubling.
First of all, you know, this is a very, very, very interesting topic and a question. You know, when you look at the people, if you look at how, the question that when you talk about Joe Igbokwe, I personally have been also been on the matter of Joe Igbokwe. That's exactly what happened. He have problem with his kinsmen, and everybody knows it's not something that you can ask somebody if it is provable, because anybody who knows the story, just let me just dive it. You know, let me just go a little bit. You know, the time of Edinog, and then a lot of things. Who knows that he was involved in a lot of things, and then come out from that place. We go to Hope Uzodinma and all this Ifanyoba. Let's not forget that there was a time that the Capital Oil was having a problem. It was being arrested, and then you know, and having a lot of problems. And all these people, and if you check all the people that have committed, have been in crimes or have some problems with Nigerian government, so the Fulani oligarchies now have capitalized and choked those people on their necks. So they are trying to use the blood of our people to free their head for their crimes. And then if you look at someone like Joe Igbokwe, you hear him talking about what the Easterners need now is one additional state. And then if that is what they should go about, for the president to give one more state, and if they get that more state, he should be the governor. So he's looking for a ground in whereby he will unleash mayhem, to come for a revenge.
What we are saying is that these guys you mentioned are bent to achieve their political aggrandizement, if you will.
Yes. And
as a result, they have ignored the interest of their people, right?
That is the area
okay.
that I'm. That is the area.
Let me ask your colleague this question this way: if you go to the north, okay, you you have also people, I mean, you have also people that are not essentially APC, or all the Norths, are the Northern politicians, are they all APC? APC is the Buhari. Can you hear me?
Are you talking to me?
Yes, you.
Okay.
I know you can speak Hausa, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And you've lived in the North.
Yes.
Okay. Every Northerners, let's not just, I mean, generalize, but I think every ethnic have a behavior that you can say that this is their custom or one thing or the other. All right. And in that of the Igbos, people believe that they are not always that if you give them money, they are willing to do anything. There is a saying that Gowon said that if he had known that the Igbos would can be just bought, that he wouldn't have shot one bullet he wouldn't have wasted his time in trying to fight the Igbos, the Biafran war with bullets, but he would have just bought all of them. And now we see the issue of Joe Igbokwe receiving $380,000 to take a step that will cost the life of his people from now to many generations. Because if what is happening in Nigeria, we shouldn't behave as though we are not aware of it. What is happening in Nigeria currently, it is a fight between the Fulani and the Biafrans. That is the best way to describe it. The Fulanis, they are supported by Britain because they possess the power which Britain borrowed them. They are the watcher of British enterprise, so to say. So, in order for the Fulanis to survive, they want to bring their people, settle them around the Biafran, where there is a lot of mineral resources, and then thrive and then live well. This is the intention. Okay, we have seen it in the handwriting of Buhari. That the question is this: why is it that people like Joe Igbokwe and Hope Uzodinma cannot see this? Why is it that they are easily bought? But if you go to the North, such thing cannot happen. Why? That is what I was, the question I said, I ask you, Mazi Odikemma, please.
Okay. One thing that the Northerners have in common is one mind. They have one mind to do whatever they want to achieve. And, during the 18th century, when they came into the North in order to take over the Hausas, of course, they survived and they grabbed the Hausas, turned mostly 90% of the Hausas into Muslim. So the Hausas have now become their slaves. Why is that? Because they have this Islamization agenda right from time. And when you come down to the British and the Fulani, British and Fulani, they have an agreement, because when the British came, they could not be able to settle well with the Westerners. They could not be able to settle well with the Easterners. But when they moved to the North, they accepted them. The only thing that they asked, they told them that, do not bring your Christianity. You can do whatever that you like. So the British now found the Fulanis as their favorite son. That is why whatever that is happening today in Nigeria, you can never ever hear it into the international community. This internal display person, that is the IDP camp. When I make a research about this IDP camp, if United Nations Convention provide a law that will guide the people who are seeking refuge in their own country, There is none. They did not provide a law. Why? Because if they provide a law that will protect these people, that will make these people's voice to be heard, they will now be able to demand for their self-determination. As long as the Westerners are concerned, or here in the Europe, no problem in Nigeria, because Nigerian government, they spend over $30 billion in order to suppress any news that will come out from Nigeria. Facebook, Nigerian government bought Facebook, they bought WhatsApp.
How do you know?
And
this
how
is
do I know?
This is a gravy allegation.
Hold on.
You can't make such allegation on Facebook.
Hold on. You can put everything in writing. Maybe next time I'll bring more proof for you. Now, hold on.
Facebook.
Just put it in writing. Then next time when we come back, we can be able to prove it. Now, one of the proof that I'm going to give you right now. You hear the famous threat that Buhari tweeted, that he's going to teach them the language that they can be able to understand. You are aware of that that tweet?
Yes,
and the Twitter have to ban them.
Yes.
And because of that, they now ban Twitter in Nigeria. So what is it telling you?
Yes, but
it is, hold on. Twitter is a social media. They could not be able to manipulate Twitter just like the way they manipulate Facebook.
Okay, let's not
WhatsApp.
Let's not get deep into the discussion about manipulating Facebook. Of course, Facebook has not always been favorable to us, to those of us.
I am still on topic here. British fan Fulani as a favorable song. That is why whatever that is happening in Nigeria, they can never ever hear it in international media. That is one of the things. And again, when you talk about Gowon and money issues, that he said that if he had known that he can be able to buy a Igbo man with money, he wouldn't have even wasted one single bullet. And they've been able to make that to come to reality after the war. Even if you have 20 million pounds in your account, they will only give you 20 pounds. So we, the Biafran, we now learn to survive on our own. That is why you see so many greedy all around the Biafrans or Igbos. You know what I'm saying now?
Are you saying that it is the economic strangulation which Biafrans were subjugated that made them become more and more interested in selling themselves?
Of course, that is exactly what it is. But at the stage that we are right now, in trying to make sure that good things come out from the people so that people can be able to see the light. So we supposed to go pass through that selfish interest.
Okay.
I'm still on point because you made a point here.
I will come back to you. Let me ask Mazi Amuzie. Mazi Amuzie, the issue is very, very serious. You cannot win any war. You must. The Biafra must be very conscious of what is happening currently. There is a war, although there is no gun, but there is a serious war.
There are guns, but let's continue.
Okay, I mean, it's not like Biafrans, they have the same gun like the Nigerian government.
Okay.
So that's what I'm trying to say. And for you, for anybody to win such a war, you must take every necessary measure. Even the issue of propaganda and social media whatsoever must be put to consideration. Now, if people like Joe Igbokwe continue to take such action like he did recent days, do you think that Biafrans are going to survive the problem in which they are? I mean, it is a serious issue. You have someone that is of Igbo extraction working against you, and you are unable to stop him. The allegation made against him by this Biafran man is that he planned with the Nigerian government to kill Nnamdi Kanu. First of all, how would that happen? They have to carry out attacks in the southern, in the eastern part of the country. And then later on, the same attack will be carried out in DSS custody where Nnamdi Kanu is held, and then he will be killed. Then they will now say, oh, well, it happened anyway. It happened the other time in the East, so it's the same people. This is a serious allegation, but it's not the allegation that matters. The question is, how can such, what does the Biafrans, what do they have to do? Can they do anything to prevent such circumstance?
You know, the issue of Joe Igbokwe, like I came across on the Facebook today, somebody wrote something that he was also, another allegation that was laid against him is that he was also the one that sponsored, as they wrote in that article, that he sponsored somebody that was deported from Turkey and mobilized them, and then went to Abuja to demonstrate.
That is Udele.
Against
you can call his name here. That is Udele you are talking about.
Okay, Udele, yeah. But I'm just quoting the article. I'm just quoting how it was, okay. How they wrote the article, and then because the person didn't wrote the name, that is how he just put it, and they went to demonstrate against Senator Enyinaya Abaribe, you know. So you see that because of Joe Igbokwe have also been accusing Senator Enyinaya Abaribe as being the backbone and the great supporter of Biafrans. So if you look into that, you see that and look back his history. If you look about his history, you see that when if Igbo said that na mkpiri agwọ egbubi agwọ ụzọ egbubi kọta agwọ agwọ egbubiri ụzọ na-abụọ na-amata ọnwụ ọtago na-esi ọnwụ. So that is what is ọ na-anọ ndụ. So that is exactly what is happening. And you look at that the whole of the people that and also the political leaders have not been. We don't have. I don't think that we really have someone that his hand is really genuine, that have not participated and that have not been into fraud, and then it have not been into fraud. So if you check at the political leaders we have all together collectively there, from Joe Igbokwe to Dave Omahi, if they talk people act like it, just from their mouth, just from their mimics, just from their body language, you will know the kind of people that we are dealing with. So these people, one thing that we should know is that majority have carried the vote.
Okay.
They will not defeat us they will not defeat Biafran this time around. I don't see that.
Let me ask you, Mazadi Kemma, the action taken by Joe Igbokwe and Andy Uba, that's his name, yes, Andy Uba. He has been accused of by this Biafran, I've forgotten his name. You didn't watch the video that came out recently by one Biafran guy. I don't know his name, I'm sorry. He put out that video. I think it's been there since morning. I tried to show the video here. Let me try to see if I can show it once again. Let me, just a moment. No.
On our hand concerning that particular shameful attack today. Firstly, I want to remind every Biafrans, wherever you are, the time we are right now, we are on injury time because we already did there.
Oh, sorry.
You know,
your PT, not the
all right.
Yes, now the video is there.
On our hand concerning that particular shameful attack today. People to pay attention to this particular information today. And I hope the world are watching as well, because our program do go far. Many world, they are watching, they are monitoring the situation in that Nigeria. And gradually, they are beginning to find out the real truth and those behind the evil that is being carried out in Nigeria. The attack today, because I'm occupied today, I'm not supposed to be here, but I quickly rushed down to make sure that we get the real face of this particular attack that was carried out today in a week. Now, the attack was planned on Tuesday last week, which is last month. The attack was planned on Tuesday, the last Tuesday of the last month of September. That Tuesday was on the 27th of September, when this attack that was carried out in Inewi today was planned at Oriental Hotel, Lekki Road, Lagos State. That was where the attack was planned. And the people that was present in this plan was Gahoba Shehu from Asorok, and Malami, the Minister of Justice and Attorney General of Nigeria, and Andy Oba, and Hope Uzodinma sent a representative in Oriental Hotel, Lekki, Lagos. This meeting was held around 7:45 p.m. That's when they commenced this meeting, 7:45 p.m. on the 27th of September. And after the meeting, Joe Igbokwe was paid in dollars for his home, for his town, for his house that was burned down today, was paid $380,000 US, was to balance this money. This money is to be balanced, the money they agree on, which he insisted that he will receive from them, because they don't trust themselves. Because they ask him, what can we do to be able to eliminate Mazen Nnamdi Kanu in DSS custody? Then concluded, Joe Igbokwe concluded that attack need to be carried out in Anambra State radically. So the people you are seeing today, those people you are seeing and you think they are unknown gunmen, there was unknown gunmen existed during the time of, immediately after NSAS protests. And this group of unknown gunmen, when we later find out that they are people who Nigeria force have eliminated their loved ones in their family, then them form their deadly gang against, listen to me, against the Nigerian forces who cause pain to their various families. Listen to me. Unknown government never go after any individual, no matter how foolish you are, no matter how they will pay him the money on Tuesday. Then on Wednesday, everybody pay attention, share this video. Now listen to me. On Wednesday, there will be attack on DSS where Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is being detained.
Okay.
Because the info.
All right. I hope you guys have heard this allegation. It's a serious one, a very serious one. My question continues to be, I want you guys to give me a clear explanation of this issue. If the IPOB intel is as effective, because you must say that to obtain this type of information, that must be an effective intel, no doubt. you can agree with me that that is obviously an exhibition of the fact that they have effective intel working for them, obtaining such hidden information about Joe Igbokwe's action. It's not an easy thing. But my question is, just having the information is not enough. What are they doing to stop the action of people like Joe Igbokwe? How long will it take them before they know that Joe Igbokwe is a serious threat? Because, I mean, okay, before you answer me this question, please, let me just.
If I may come in before you even go to the next question, is you know, there is an Igbo adage that said, "I won't boss want to create from mano kana You see,
but you know that also this Igbo adage says that no one so much a lot that.
Yes, I'm still coming. I know Bajo, so I buy any ajebe. No.
Okay, all right. Let Major the Gamer say his point of view as well. Then you will continue because I think he has something to say as well concerning this question. Major the Gamer, go on, please.
You rightly say that what are people doing or what are we doing? What we are doing here is part of what we are supposed to do in order to expose these people. But a lot of people don't know about this $380,000. What for? It's of course his house. That is why I like to say before from the beginning, if the system of Nigeria is functionable in the sense that when you build your house, you have to be insured. So such a thing, when it happens in the Western world, the house insurer have to pay him a very huge amount of money. Yes. And before they do that, they need to investigate it and make sure that it really is an accident. So it's a clear case. It's a very, very clear case. Like I said also, that they want to do everything humanly possible in order to have a justification to clamp on the whole of the Biafrans. Not just IPOBs, the whole of Biafra. Because when you talk about, when you say IPOB, some people see it as if it's only the family members, but everybody who is in the old Eastern region is an indigenous person of Biafra.
Yes, but it's not everybody that will be responsible for the action of the IPOB association. IPOB association, you have to understand.
What do you mean by the responsible of the actions of IPOB? You are saying it as if that IPOB had been or her own activity being violation or something of that nature. No, that is exactly where
action can be things you do or things you don't even do. But the action also is a representation of the IPOB. You should understand that the sit at home that has been going on shows that the only people that the Eastern people can listen to is IPOB, not the governors.
Okay, right? Now let me come in there.
I will have to clear it because you should understand where I'm heading to. It's very important. The action of EIPB is, for example, to sit at home. When they give that command, you follow it. It's an action.
No, right? Let me clear that point.
Excuse me, Master Gema, just pay attention. There is something that is very important you should understand. From my point of view, when that action is followed by Biafrans, it is seen as the command of the IPOB officials and not by the Biafrans. That is why you had Simon last time mentioning the issue of pilots whatsoever.
Autopilot.
Okay? Yeah, autopilot. So there is a difference between the action taken by a normal person and the action taken by an official person. So you have to differentiate between official action and an action taken by a non-official. These are two different things. That's what I'm trying to say. Do you understand what I mean?
Let me clear two things. First of all, what was the reason why the officials of IPOB implemented that sit at home? It is simply because, for example, I'm a political activist. I criticize Nigeria or what they do and what they don't do. And now I find myself in the Western world where it says in the United Nations Convention that my right is being protected. Now, the leader of this organization, for example, I'm taking myself as an example, that I'm supposed to be protected in a foreign land, but the country that I'm fighting against, the country where I have a citizenship, and the country where I find myself, define this law of the United Nations in order to punish me or to kill me. Now, the followers or the officials who are following this man now decided that this is what they are going to do in order to sit at home. Because before this 2021, there had been a massive protest all across Biafra land or Old Eastern region. Now you see police and military shooting people. It's all there that the international community could have come out to say and condemn that. Now,
I'm afraid we might be talking at cross purposes in this context, Mazadi Kemma.
My dear,
Yeah,
let me clear.
I'm afraid we might be talking at cross purposes. The crux of the issue, from my point of view, is that IPOB is an institution. And
you made a point. You say that people who are not an IPOB organization or family will not take responsible actions that IPOB have penetrated.
The official.
Now, I have not finished my point. Now, when the officials now decided that the cheapest way and to be able to save life and property is for people to decide on their own, to sit at home. First of all, Nigerian government have not been helpful to these people. Yeah. After the war, the Nigerian government gave each and every one of them 20 pounds to survive. No infrastructure, no school, no good, nothing. So this is the cheapest way to have a protest and to sit your home and lateral fence sala without any harm coming to you. Now, the first one was on the 9th of August. And before the second one, the officials of IPOB have now come out to say that the sit at home is suspended. Now, the other people who are not within the family member or registered member of IPOB now decide on their own to be sitting at home. So there's no way that you can be able, or anybody can be able to link that to say that it is an order from IPOB officials.
Okay. I think I've said we are talking about.
Please. I want to say something. Let me chip in something before you come
in. Let me just say this. It's
let me chip in something. No, yes. I want to insist. Let me chip something.
I will let you chip something, of course. Now, let me put this clear. It's very important. IPOB is an institution. It's an organization.
It's not.
They have function. All right. Listen first, please. Don't interrupt. They have a function to give the Biafrans. On a general basis, everybody, you, myself, we are IPOBs. Because we, in abbreviation, said Indigenous People of Biafra. But on a specific level, you have to see it from its specific code. These are words. IPOB is an institution. They have a function, a role to play for the Biafrans. And this role is also for their benefit, for the benefit of each and every Biafran, which they have so far or hitherto tried to fulfill. They have a function to play. They don't give that responsibility to normal people. They take this responsibility as their obligation and they fulfill it accordingly. That is what I'm trying to say. So you go on.
Like what I wanted to say something before because it seems like the reason why I keep mute, we are deviating from the main question, yes, which is what are the IPOB, the action, yes, that the IPOB are taking against these people like Joe Igbokwe and all these people that are working contrary, anti-clockwise. Yes, one of the actions is just by exposing them, so that this information that was being dished out, so that let them know that whatsoever that they are doing, that our eyes on them, that we are monitoring them. And as this information have been dished out, now it has called for thorough investigation, and then it's an exposure, because there is no any criminal or somebody that have bad intention or have a hidden intention that will like exposure. So exposure become the very, very first, the very, very paramount thing that we have to. And then after that exposure, then we have to investigate. As we now investigate and find out that indeed this is exactly what happened, and that is exactly what their plan, then we will now be able to take action. Makana Igbo turido ha say what dia isoro hon totota manu nisi mu amakwa son senta n'ike.
Okay, this is very important.
I think the report, as we get this report, the investigation is going on, and after that investigation, then you will say IPOB would take proper action.
Okay, I asked this question for a purpose, and I'm going to come to you, Mazi Odikema. Maybe you will understand where I was heading to when I asked the question, and when I try to distinguish between the IPOB functionality and normal people. You do that in every organization, even in a country. What do you think is the biggest thing that has ever happened to mankind? Would any of you come up with an explanation? The biggest thing that has ever happened to mankind. I mean, the worst thing, sorry, the worst thing that has ever happened to mankind.
The worst thing that happened to mankind is the scramble of Africa in 1884, 1885.
Okay.
And the biggest thing that will happen to mankind is that Africa will be free. That this is a colonial boundary that you see all across Africa. People can now on their own decide on what they should be called. Okay.
That's almost the expectation I had. For me, from my point of view, I think the worst thing that has happened to mankind so far is enslavement of Africans. That is a dramatic thing that there is nothing that can be equated to that. But the enslavement of a Black man hasn't stopped. It has continued. And if you will, Nigeria, without, missing a word, is an institution that is based on the continuation of the enslavement of Black man. Just like you have rightly said, Mazi Odikema, any day the Black man cannot be free in as much as this Nigeria is a structure that it continues, it helps to keep the Black man in subjugation, whether you like it or not. So for Black man to be free, like you said, things like the Nigerian, the structure of Nigeria has to be dressed. It has to be dressed through referendum, which is essentially what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is asking. But it is a big problem in the sense that, hence,
it's a, you see, like you said, the thing that we should see in this place is, we should see in that structure is that the reason why it keeps it's still existing, not just only be a Black man, because some people are surviving from it. They are seeing it as their means of their survival. And then some other people, because another man food is another man poison. But one of the things that we should understand, and the fact that we should understand, is that it is a time that also the people that the issues are being affected now should think of should now take this opportunity serious,
Yes.
and really put it into action. Not this one
Yes.
saying this one acting this one. It is a time
Exactly.
for us to see survival as a common goal.
And that is why
implement it and
exposing
take
is not
action.
enough. And that is why exposing is not enough.
That is why I said that as like this video have comes out, it have given a room for more investigation. And believe you me, the same way that this information comes out is the same way the investigation. And when they investigate, they will say action. There will be action.
Okay.
There will definitely be action.
Mazodi Kemma, you also believe that there is going to be action from this part of IPOB.
Sorry, come again.
You also believe there is going to be action from part of the IPOB organization against this type of behavior, planning to kill Nnamdi Kanu. I mean, after the investigation, and if they find out that is true, there's going to be action. There's not like we have to pray like you understand what I'm saying?
Of course, the plan, my brother, the plan has always been to kill not just Nnamdi Kanu, but to kill the whole of Biafrans, to Islamize everybody.
Yeah, but
on the 17th of September, on the 17th of September 2017,
yes,
if you can remember, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu house was invaded. Why? Because he was bribed by the officials of the Nigerian government. He refused, saying that what he wants is Biafra. They asked him to go with the so-called 5 Igbo-speaking states. He said no, that he wants to go with the 13 states that make up Biafra, the old eastern region. And the next thing that they did, somebody who has a court case in the next month or 2 months to come, the next thing that the military came to his house to kill him. Luckily for him, he was escaped. He escaped. So the issue now is not to investigate if they want to kill Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. The plan has always been that. That is why that Nigerian government have to violate the law of Kenya International, the law of British and also Nigerian government in order to bring Mazen Nnamdi Kanu into Nigeria with the help of some officials in IPOB. Because if something happens to you, for example, there's somebody who is close to you who make that happen. So these are things that we are talking about. We have gone past beyond the statement of Gowon, when Gowon said that if he know that he wouldn't have fire even one single bullet, and that is exactly what is happening. People have seen hope. Children yet unborn. This stage that we are right now is a spiritual time that people need to welcome it with a wholehearted and forget about anything about selfish interest. Because the more selfish that you become, the more you are putting a lot of people in danger. People are dying because of all these things. So, my brother, like I said, it's not about to investigate. Okay. The plan has always been to eliminate him and all the Biafrans.
Sorry, I would like us to make a conclusion for today's discussion. And my question is this. There has always been discussion about sensitization of the Biafrans. Nnamdi Kanu has done this thing effectively. Nobody can do it better than him. And yet, there are still people out there dwelling on the same sensitization. I mean, it can never be over, but my interest, I want to find out from you, two of you, you guys, is I will ask this question another way around, because it is important that this question sink, that this question come out. Haven't the Biafran cross the stage of exposing? Are they doing something? Is there anything going on rather than exposing? Because You cannot be fighting. You don't go to war where there is a war of sword with Bible. I'm going on Africa. I keep saying this. Is there anything, like you guys, you are one of the prominent guys that is agitating for Biafra. Is there anything you can start saying, telling the people that is different from sensitization, that goes towards the direction of action? This is what is going to happen. This is how you can prevent it. Prevention. If Nnamdi Kanu was not captured by the Fulani oligarch, it would have been a different discussion today. But unfortunately, it happened. And I think that day, 99% of Biafrans went dead. Capturing Nnamdi Kanu is capturing the whole of Biafra. Are you going to sit down and watch something similar to that happen again in the name of sensitization? That has been my question for today. I hope you guys understand the direction I'm moving.
Yes. Of course, there is more action on the ground, and then it's not every. Let's say there are more actions on the ground, and then let's start from this sit at home. You see, no matter how people would think about this thing, if you there is only one way that you can hit the cabals, and that is when you hit their source of income, the economy. That is only way, because they don't care about it. If you are talking of weapon, if you are talking of connections, if you are talking of organized, if you are talking of everything, they have it. It is under their control. But once you hit that survivor, that areas of whereby those incomes are coming, it's like when you just dry up the oil in the lantern, then you will see what you will see. Even the rope, you will see the fire now will begin now to shake. So there will be no more energy. So that is the area. So this, like now, on the 20th, from the 21st, that IPOB, the leaders of the leadership of IPOB have made it clear after 21st of October, and we didn't see, they didn't bring Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to the court, and then also be able to put him in a way that he can be communicating with his people, then there will be a consequence. And this consequence, the consequences that will happen, it is targeting.
Okay. Mazi Nnamdi, can hear me?
Okay.
Yeah. So
yes, I can hear you. I got to one of the points. I just want to
yes, couple with when it will now be stretched for a very long time, then we should learn a lesson from like what happens in Chile.
Mazi Amuze, thank you very much for that statement. You, Mazi Onyekema, go on. We are making our last statement.
Yeah. I'm going to pick a point from what my brother Amuze said.
Okay.
And also a news that is going around the social media,
yes,
concerning the sit at home. Now, what my brother said, which is of course, that is what the officials of IPOB have come out to say, that after 21st of when our leader is coming out, that 1 month or 1 week a sit at home is going to commence. Personally, I disagree with that, because the Nigerian government under the Fulani Caliphate, they don't obey the rule of law. So for me, I would suggest, that is my own personal opinion, that something needs to be done, because you just rightly said that what are we doing? We have gone beyond this exposure. What are we doing? Because what happened before, we cannot be able to let that thing still repeat itself again. So personally, I don't concur with this after 21st. What are we doing? And also, when I say that the first official sit-at-home on the 9th of August, which the IPOB, and then 3 days to go for the second one on the 16th, they came out to suspend it. Why? Why? There's a question mark there. Now, even the Ariwa, the news, which I'm going to read here from Punch, and that will be my conclusion.
Yes.
The Ariwa, now the headline said, sit at home, see any shop closed in solidarity with IPOB. Ariwa group tell Northern governors. What is he trying to say here? I'm going to read the news so that people can be able to understand. What he's trying to say here, he is telling the Northern governors that any Hausa man that will close the shop in solidarity with IPOB or Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, that shop will be sealed completely. Now let me read the news, if you can be able to permit. Just say 1 minute read.
Go ahead and read it.
It says, the Ariwa Consultative Forum has rejected the recent call by the indigenous people of Biafra on the Middle Belt people to join its sit-at-home campaign, warning that no section of the North should be a part to a deliberate political motivated plan to undermine or worsen the nation's current security challenges.
All right.
In a statement by the group national president Alhaji Yerima Shetima in Kaduna on Monday, the AY, if anybody who wants to go and read it, you can just go to the go to Punch News.
We published on the Middle African Diaspora as well. We published it as well. So, yeah.
Okay. The number 10th line that I read there, they talk about the challenges, the current challenges of security. Who are the people making people not to be able to sleep or go to their farm? It is their people. Yeah. Now, the indigenous people of Biafra have chosen a path of agitation because the people who created this agitation are the ruling class. They created no school, no job, no infrastructure, no hospital. Killings, they provided everything, even terrorism. But the indigenous people of Biafra chooses agitation. They want to agitate in order for them to be free. Now you are now telling the Middle Belt that you've already conquered. We want to set them free, that they should not join these sit-at-home that the indigenous people of Biafra are calling these people to join. You see? So just like the question, I just want to answer your question straight. You say, what are the indigenous people of Biafrans are doing? If this is not hitting them, there is no way that they will be lamenting.
Okay, very good.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I mean, it is important that we discuss this nitty-gritty aspect of happening because action speaks louder than words, they say. Of course, word can also be part of action, but you understand what I'm trying to say. Mazi Amuzie, if the Middle Belt and the Yoruba group, the Oduduwa agitators, what are they waiting for? Why did they join the IPOB sit-at-home? If what they are doing is all that, if they're all that serious, I'm not saying that they're not serious, but what will it be like if they would join? Okay, first of all, why don't they join the sit-at-home? Why why are they not doing that? Okay, I think he's gone once again.
Okay, maybe I can take that question. I can take that question.
Okay.
The Yorubas or the Oduduwas, they will. You know, one thing about our people, we the Biafrans, we don't have one mind. But unlike the Westerners, which is Oduduwa or the North, they have one mind. The Oduduwa agitation just not up to 3 years, but you can see how they've been able to achieve a lot, even when they want to arrest their leader, Sunday Igboho.
Yeah, they come together.
The prominent people, they came together and say you cannot. Now, look at what happened to the leader of indigenous people of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. the elite, just like the people you mentioned, Joe Igbokwe, who is supposed to be the mouthpiece for the Biafrans who is supposed to be the mouthpiece for the Biafrans in Lagos.
Okay.
But he doesn't do that. You talk about Ngige, you talk about Nyiso Nwike, you talk about a lot of them, all this political class. Go and kill him, go and kill him. It's not supposed to be so. It's not supposed to be so.
What did he do?
What we are going to benefit in future is very far greater than what you're benefiting now. So thank you very much. And viewers, anybody who are watching, if you're going to watch this program in Biafra land, we encourage you to keep on showing solidarity to IPOB and Mazen Nnamdi Kanu by Monday sit at home that you have decided on your own to sit. I still remember Mazi Odinkema Kendelem Mwachinege, a bona fide active member of IPOB and also an active financial member.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You call our viewers, Mazi Odinkema, to subscribe to Mirror African Diaspora and share this video too. All right? Are you doing that?
You've already done that already.
Are you not doing it? Okay.
You've already done that today. But viewers, what I plead you, the more you subscribe to this channel and share this, that we can be able to even go more further, because the Mirror African Diaspora that you're seeing here, it's not just, it's not a regular social media that you see on the social media. This has it has a basis of international that can be able to send a message across the government houses all over all over the place. So share and make sure that you invite, because very soon you'll be seeing more of this, so that we can be able to move away from the circle of IPOB. Because when you look about what is happening, our news is always within us. It's always within us. But with such a media like this, we can be able to go international.
Thank you very much, Mazi Odinkema. And
thank you very much.
I thank you too, because we were able to clear the point that was in the middle. We almost missed it. That point was very, very important, but at the end you addressed it. And again, thank you very much. It's about our conclusion today is that we have crossed, the IPOB caucus have crossed the level of exposing. They are now into bringing people to the consciousness that action is needed. And that means, in this case, inviting the Oduduwas and the Middle Belt. This is an action that, if it is realized, will bring more fruit than when IPOB is standing alone doing the sit at home on their own. Thank you very much, viewers, and please, I thank you very much, Mazi Odinkema, for coming today, and thank you, viewers, for watching. We ask you to subscribe to our YouTube and ask you to subscribe to go to our page and like it. And then, yeah, thank you very much for today, and see you next time. Bye-bye.